But not every immigrant is like every other immigrant. Now, don't tell Kirsten Gillibrand, but they're not all the same. Our current immigration system treats them like they are. It treats people like widgets. Our government does virtually nothing to separate the good from the bad. A system like that is not designed to help America. It's designed for the benefit of foreigners. And by that measure, it has been wildly successful. A new study shows that just last year, immigrants living in the United States sent at least $120 billion in remittances to the countries they came from. Even in an age of expanding costs, $120 billion is a lot of money. It's more, for example, than we spent on the first Gulf War. It's more than the entire Russian military spends every 2 years. That's enough money to buy Costco, not the stuff on the shelves, but the entire company, and still have $15 billion left over. It's a lot of money, and all of it could be going to Americans, many of whom badly need it. But instead, Mexico received $33 billion in remittances just last year. That country's own president admits the Mexican economy would go under without those remittance payments. In Guatemala, remittances from the United States amounted to a full 11% of their entire GDP. In El Salvador and Honduras, that's 18 and 20% respectively. In the past decades, those three countries have received a total of $120 billion in remittances from the United States. And by the way, it's not just Latin America that's benefiting from this. China, which hardly needs it, gets $15 billion a year in remittances. India, $10.5 billion. Vietnam, $7 billion. Nigeria, $5.5 billion. Russia, $300 million. We could go on and on. Now, none of this is an attack on immigrants. In most cases, they're just helping their families back home, and good for them. It's not their fault. It's our fault. Much of this money has never been taxed at any level. More than 10 million illegal aliens are believed to be working in this country under the table. And that's part of the reason that between 2012 and 2016, an estimated 39 million Social Security numbers were stolen from Americans for fraudulent use, a fact that's rarely reported. But legal or not, immigrants send their earnings abroad, and they pay nothing when they do it because remittances are untaxed. It's a pretty good deal for Mexico and Guatemala. When was the last time you made a financial transaction that wasn't taxed? Can you even remember? At one point, the Trump administration proposed a remittance tax. Lobbyists for Mexico didn't like the idea. The idea went nowhere. We can't fix that on this show. What we can do is be honest about what is happening. Immigration is good for our economy? Sure, it can be good. Immigration is always good for our economy? More immigration is always better for our economy? No, that's a lie. There is nothing to support that claim. There's a lot of evidence to disprove it. Anyone who tells you that, and that's pretty much everyone you see on television, either doesn't understand the subject or is lying to you purposefully, and maybe both, just so you know.